Welcome to this explainer. Let's just be honest for a second. We all know Excel, right? It's that old, faithful friend. Kind of like your favorite pair of sweatpants. Super comfortable, but, well, you absolutely wouldn't wear them to a board meeting. You set up a few organized tabs, drop in some neat little formulas, and boom, you feel like you're in total control. It's cheap and it's everywhere. But guys, here we are in 2026. Fiber optic networks have evolved insanely fast. And if you are still trying to manage them like it's 2005, you are literally setting yourself up for some serious operational pain.
So I've just got to ask you right off the bat, are you still managing your fiber with Excel? Seriously, relying on those 2005 methods today? It guarantees massive operational problems, period. Today's networks are just way too complex, the data is too heavy, and the margin for error, it is virtually zero. If you're still running operations off a spreadsheet, you're basically operating with a blindfold on.
All right, let's dive into Section 1, the Excel control illusion.
Now, when you first start out, Excel kind of works, right? You've got, say, 10 to 15 tabs, and you feel like you have a solid grip on the steering wheel. But then, your network grows, and those 15 manageable tabs, they multiply to 47. At that point, it ceases to be a tool. It becomes a total illusion. Picture this. Two people open the file at the exact same time. Your formulas break into these chaotic, tangled webs, and suddenly nobody, and I mean nobody, knows which version is actually up to date.
Does that chaotic scenario sound familiar? Well, it absolutely should, because this exact loss of control is the harsh reality for 90% of industry operators out there. 90%. So, you're definitely not alone in this struggle. But that does not make it acceptable. It is literally an industry-wide epidemic of inefficiency.
Moving right along to Section 2, costs of manual errors.
Look, we need to completely forget about those minor annoyances like software crashes. We are talking about severe financial hemorrhaging here, all caused by a lack of a single source of truth. Think about it. With Excel, the director is sitting at their desk looking at an outdated overview. Meanwhile, the field tech is out there staring at a mobile file they synced, 2 weeks ago? And the planner is working off some copied file entirely. You don't have one truth. You have 15 completely conflicting realities.
Let's actually walk through the domino effect of this. Step 1. A technician manually miscounts fibers from a photo. Simple mistake, right? Well, Step 2, because of that bad data, your installation team assigns a fiber that's already in use. You think you have 10 available, you actually have 0. And then, Step 3, the angry client complaint calls start flooding in. When you have thousands of fibers to manage, these disastrous double assignments aren't a matter of if, they are 100% a matter of when.
Which brings us to the very real danger of lying reports. You can generate all the beautiful, colorful charts you want, but if your source data is broken, your reports are broken. Can you honestly show management a 65% market penetration chart? Or, say, an inaccurate $200,000 inventory valuation when you know for a fact you have to manually revalidate every single number with your field teams? No way. That is the exact opposite of efficiency.
Let's hit Section 3, the office field gap.
So there is this massive disconnect right now between operating out there in the dirt and tracking things back at headquarters. The 2026 standard demands that your field teams have a tablet with real-time updates and instant geolocation. That's just the baseline now. But the Excel reality, it forces them into this archaic workflow of passing around USB drives and waiting on delayed emails. You simply can't survive today with network as-builds stuck back in 2023.
Which leads perfectly into Section 4, today's market urgency. Now, you might be wondering, well, Excel worked before, so why not today? Simple, because your network and your clients changed. Clients today demand absolute transparency. An Excel sheet? Sure, it survives 50 kilometers of fiber. It's manageable at that size. But when you scale up to 500 or 1,000 kilometers, the complexity completely explodes. Relying on a spreadsheet at that massive scale is no longer just difficult, it is operationally dangerous.
And this fierce urgency is most obvious when we look at outage diagnosis times. Modern competitors using dedicated software solutions react instantly, diagnosing network outages in exactly 5 minutes. But you? If you're digging through 47 conflicting tabs, you lose a full 60 minutes. That 55-minute difference is actively losing you clients and bleeding your reputation dry.
All right, let's get to the solution. Section 5, Zonedge, the single truth.
Clinging to Excel is actively giving your competitors the advantage. Zonedge is the absolutely necessary paradigm shift to fix all of this. First off, it creates one single source of truth, so no more 15 different versions of a file floating around. Second, it enables real-time field coordination, where your technicians can consult and update the live network state right there on the ground. Third, it allows for flawless engineering planning for proactive expansions. And finally, it guarantees data-backed management decisions. Honestly, it pays for itself the exact moment those costly manual errors vanish and you start winning contracts based on guaranteed quality of service.
Well, we have covered a lot of hard truths in this explainer. If you recognize your own daily struggles in absolutely anything we just discussed, it is time to upgrade your reality. So you have to ask yourself, are you going to keep trusting your future to a fragmented spreadsheet from the past, or are you ready to take true control? Start designing, operating, and innovating your fiber optic network today.